So I'm going to use Firefox. Seems to work a little bit better. If it wants to open. Now, it probably will ask you if you want to use Alex as, or Firefox as your default browser. Doesn't really matter. If you want to, you can. I'm going to hit yeah. It might not let me do that. First thing I'm going to talk about is something you really don't need for math class, but I don't think they talk about it much, and it is something that you do have available, and it's called ClassLink. My login screen looks like this. The ClassLink thing has it so if you save things to your Z drive, you can access them off campus. You can make shortcuts to check your email, to check e-learning, to go to Alex. It's supposed to be kind of like a one-stop shop to get to the stuff you need. Some people don't like it and don't use it, and other people do. I also think it does have some things where you can at least open Word documents and Excel and stuff like that if you don't have that on your own computer. So to go to ClassLink, it's the bottom one. You're going to do my.classlink.com/sysadmin. You should get to this screen right here. Get a better marker. Marker's not opening. All lowercase. You should see something that looks like this. Username and password should be your network username and password. So your student ID number and whatever password you use to log on the computer. Let me know if you are having trouble getting there or have questions. All right, you will notice on mine I have Alex, I have Moodle, which is our e-learning, and our email. Most of you, if you're brand new, don't have the Alex and you have to add the Alex. So you'll see right next to the word sysadmin, there's a plus sign. I'm going to click that plus sign. And up in the search there, just type in the word Alex, A-L-E-K-S. You should see the little symbol for Alex up there. And if you click on that, mine says remove because I've already added it. I'm going to remove it so I can add it again. So I'm going to hit add. Oh, it just added it for me because I already had it there. It may ask you a few other questions. Did it just let you go ahead and add it? Okay. And if once it's added, they made that easier than it used to be, you can just close it by hitting the little X up there in the corner. All right. SWC email. I'm going to go to that first. Your SWC email, again, is your network username and password. If you do need to change or update the password, if you right-click, you get the update password thing. Most of you haven't been on that yet, so you're going to put your password in, but some of you have and you may need to change it from last semester. That's where you change your password if you right-click. Mine probably will pop right in there again because I've been on here before. Oh, student ID number and your password you use to log on to the network. Not that, because you haven't changed it after it was that. So I don't know what it was there, but it's not that. Because when you log on the computer, you would use that, but then you have to change it.
No, it won't let me log in.
So it's not this anymore, it's whatever you changed it to.
Yep.
Yep.
I think I had to go to ID. This is just for the app. Okay, I just have to try. There's a book. I'm gonna have to have him reset it. What is this one? It's just to have the app on there.
Yeah. I'll get it. That'll probably be a Kendall or a Sunny question. Is beyond that, I don't know why it's not giving you any apps or anything whatsoever. So we'll have to fix that later.
Send it to me.
Like I said, it's not a big deal in here. We really don't need to use it for this class, but it's kind of a nice thing to have. All right, on your email,
Where's next class?
notice it has this box here that says use the light version. You cannot do attachments, etc. if you do not check that box. You can check your email, but you can't do an attachment or whatever. So you need to make sure that you use the light version of Outlook if you want to be able to put attachments and stuff on there. Okay. Then go ahead and see what it lets, if it lets you do that. It allow? That's what I expected you to, or you must be on Chrome, maybe. Hit okay? Must probably be done. Go ahead and close that tab and let's see if it shows up there. Close that one. Oh, yeah, it's there.
I sign my name, I answer nothing. I hit enter. So it's nothing, but
So it's nothing.
it won't let
But
me
you-
put nothing.
That means you gotta go to see Sunny and have him fix that for
Alright.
you. It's gives you the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the, this is the email one, not the other one. Okay. It's not being sold because it appears to be cooked. What happens if I go to continue? There we go. Just continue the website anyway. So we're gonna click the light version, put in your username and password there. All right. If someone from the school is sending you emails, student services, the cafe, registrar's office, etc., this is the email it's going to go to. When you register in Alex, you can use whatever email you actually check, but you do want to make sure you're checking your SWC email. They recommend you check it at least once a day because, like I said, financial aid or student services or whoever, they're going to use this email. So you want to make sure you're checking it periodically. Mine probably has a whole bunch of junk in it. I've been here, this is my 24th year, so I have a lot of junk. Let's see. There we go. See, there I got a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, Darlene sent something. She's the registrar. That might be important. 5 students who have to register yet. Nope, nothing you guys needed to know. Usually if I have time, I check my email to see if there's something. Some books are in. If you didn't get Dakota Language 1, 3, Zoology, Botany, Biology, or Research Methods, those books are in the bookstore. And so you want to check that periodically. I'm just going to close it because I really don't want to look at that right now, but it is there. There is also a link on our home page, which I'll show you in a little bit. Moodle. Moodle is where we keep track of your attendance. Some teachers upload things that you have to do and submit online. Various other things. I have your Dakota activities on there. Whoops, I clicked up there. Up on the top, it probably says you are not logged in, and I clicked on the login thing up there on that top right corner. Username, your student ID number. The default password, again, is going to be SWCC, and then you have to change your password. Most people just use the same password as the network, but then once you change the network password, remember this one's going to stay the same. All right. On here, it should say your name up at the top. There are some options. Some of these things you can move around and mess with and rearrange the arrangement of your screen. Mine probably has stuff all over. But the quickest way to get to your classes is to click on Dashboard. However, since people were still registering this morning, most people probably don't have you in the classes yet. So I hopefully have it set up so you can self-enroll. If not, I will have to enroll you. But you're going to want to find Math 120, Intermediate Algebra, Section 1. Make sure you don't get into the summer one.
They didn't get this stuff, so can you get them temporary so they get them under?
I can.
Let me see if I can fix this quick.
So if you go to, I better go back out. Dashboard's probably not going to say anything yet. Go to where, up here on the top where it says Home. On Home, it should list all the classes. Is it going? Slowly. There it goes. Down here's courses. If you slide down to the ones where it says Math, look for the one that says Math 120 Intermediate Algebra Section 1 and see if it'll let you self-enroll by putting in the word Alex in all caps. If not, I'll have to manually put you in, but since I just got my class list about 10 minutes before class started, I don't have you in there yet. No. Well, it says you cannot enroll yourself. I'll have to do it. All right, never mind. I will have to do that. On the e-learning, I'll just go over the screen with you anyway. There is a link to Alex. The syllabus and the guidelines for the final, which I handed out, are on there. But basically, it's just going to tell you what we're going to do each week, that kind of schedule that I had on the syllabus anyway. How much time you should be putting in, that kind of thing. If you see something with a little hand and a piece of paper, that means that's something you should turn in. You've turned in already your attendance form thing. That was this thing I made you fill out. So if you look on that week and you see something with a hand, it means, oh, I got to turn that in this week. You turn that in, you're good. I'll put the grades in. Down on the second week, you'll see we'll start doing the Dakota activity. So if it has this little red symbol here, it means it's a PDF file. Sometimes they're Word documents and it has a little W symbol there. That's the one you'll log on and print out. The one with the hand again is where it says you have to submit it. If you click on that, it's going to tell you what your grade is if you've turned it in. But to actually do the activity, you have to either do the PDF file or the Word document. So starting next week, we will do those. But otherwise, basically on there, I have to keep track of your attendance. It kind of tells you what percent you should be at and all of those good things. But Wednesdays, when we do the Dakota activity, you'll log on and do those. So I have to manually put you in. Evidently, the self-sign-in didn't let you do it. And so we'll go back. I'm going to close that. We talked about Moodle, we talked about email. Before we talk about Alex, I want to talk about the SWC website. So I just click the plus and open the new tab up here. Type in www.swcollege.edu, or for those of us who have been here a long time, www.swc.tc still works. You should get this screen like this. This screen here has all the college's stuff on there. There is a link to e-learning also there. The My SW College is the portal in order to, if you would want to print out like some unofficial grades or print out a class schedule for some reason, you can go into that portal and print out your class schedule. The login for that again is the same as your network. So I'm going to click on the My SW College. If you're brand new, I'm not sure if they have it all set up yet or not, but username and password should be the exact same thing as your network username and password, the one you use to log on to the computers. And of course, mine's going to look different than yours because I'm a faculty person and not a student.
You said it's the same as our login?
Yeah, should be. Yeah, and if you're brand new, they may not have it set up yet. But if at some point in time you would need to print out, like I said, your class list or want to print out your grades or whatever, that's where you can do that at. I'm just going to go back to the home page here. That opened in a new tab, so. College links, under the college links, you have your student email login. Use the top one. They are trying to get set up where you have an EDU extension, but I don't think they have that all the way done yet. There is a link to Alex, various other things on there that you may use when you're doing some research and that kind of stuff. So most of the stuff that you're going to use is these last three things. E-learning, you may use the SW College at some point in time, or under the college links you have all those links to your email, whatever. So if you're at home, you can just go to the college's website, go to student email login, and again, make sure you check that box to use the light version. Otherwise, you may end up with some difficulties attaching things and those kind of things. All right, now to what we really want to work on. Alex. I already have my tab set up so that when I go in, my first tab is my class link and the second tab is the Alex, so I don't have to type that in every time. If you want to set up your tabs so they automatically open up to certain pages when you come in here, let me know. I'll help you do that. If you have used Alex before in introductory algebra or whatever, and you remember your login name and password, go ahead and put those in. If not, go to sign up now in the yellow box as a new student. Class code, that was on the very front page of your syllabus and also probably a couple pages into your syllabus. You do not have to put it in caps and you do not have to put the hyphen. Just type the letters and numbers or whatever is on there, U, Q, V, K, W, and then just keep typing and put that in. Now if you logged in with your old one, you are going to change your class code, add or change classes, and then again it's going to ask you for that course code. Yep, just hit continue once you've got the code in. It should say that you are in Intermediate Algebra Fall 2019 with Linda Flannery. If it does, confirm that. Then you are going to say either no, I've never used Alex before, or yes, I have an Alex login. Most of you, if you're new, are going to say no, I've never used Alex before. And then you have to fill in all your personal information. Again, on the email, you can put in whatever email you actually check. If I send an email through Alex, it's going to go to whatever email you put in there. If you already have used Alex before, you don't have to put all that stuff in. Just stop at that front screen until we get caught up for all those people who have to put extra stuff in. Yep. Access code, that's on that little green card. So if it asks you for your access code from the bookstore, you should have gotten a little green Alex card. I'm going to borrow yours, thank you. Looks like this. If you did not get that, you cannot get into the math program. That's basically your book. You got the binder, so did they just stick it in the front of the binder? Okay, you're probably gonna have to run over to your dorm room. Yep, because you have to have it. If you didn't get it from the bookstore, or you left it in your dorm, you need it. And you can't get on yet. Oh, well, go get it from your car while we're waiting to see if Sunny can get you in. Your email address at the college is your student ID number at swc.tc. So it's kind of mine with L. Flannery at swc.tc, students and their student ID number at swc.tc. So yes, if you're logging in and registering and it wants you to put in your email and you're not using a Hotmail or something, you're going to put in your student ID number at swc.tc for your email here at the college. Sign in there in the middle and then grab one of each of those pieces of paper. There should be about 5 of them there.
I know, I was.
So, going through the ALEX program here, it says ALEX is a personalized way to learn at your own pace. Although you won't really be at your own pace, I will pace you out unless you want to work ahead of me. It's okay to work ahead of me, it's not okay to be behind me. I'm going to hit next. It's going to figure out the topics you already know. On Wednesday when we do our pre-test, it will determine what you already know so you don't have to do a bunch of problems that you already know how to do. But for today, we want to learn how the program works, so we're not going to do the pre-test yet. So what basically it's going to do is give you an assessment. You're going to learn some stuff. It's going to give you another assessment. You'll learn some more stuff, and you'll just keep going back and forth. Again, if you miss something on the assessment, it's okay. It just means you need to have more practice. It's going to put it back on your pie chart so you can practice it again. The whole point is that you master the topics. The better you learn them, the easier the next class is going to be for you. Up on the top here, once you hit continue or next or whatever I hit, is your main menu. It's not going to let me go to the main menu yet, but it's pointing it out, but we will go to that later. I'm going to hit next. Over here where the bell is, that's where your notifications show up. So if I've sent you a message or you're going to have an assessment or something, it's going to pop up there. Again, I'm going to hit next. Go ahead and follow along and do what I'm doing. Normally you look in this bluish teal color section and it tells you what you're going to be doing. So this is a suggestion of what to do next, and I'm going to hit next. So first thing they're going to do is the introduction to the ALEX tool. So I'm going to hit get started there. And I'm going to add a few little hints as they go. But first of all they're going to have you do is type 14. When they tell you to use the keyboard, they mean this keyboard right here. I like to use the number pad, so make sure your number lock is on. You can use the numbers on the top too. But first of all, it's just going to have you type 14. So I'm going to type 14. It says I did that correctly. It wants you to learn what these buttons are. The first one is the clear button, so if you hit the X, it just clears out your answer. If you hit the back arrow, that's the undo, so since I just cleared it, if I undo it, puts it back in there. So first one is the clear, second one's undo if you need to use those while you're typing answers in. Now it tells me to hit next on the bottom. Fractions. When you enter a fraction in, there's probably 3 different ways you can do it. They're going to have you enter in the fraction 2/3. The first way to do it, I can click the fraction icon, type the 2 in the top, and then the 3 on the bottom. I can either click or maybe tab works to go down, or the down arrow. I'm going to clear that out. Other way to do a fraction. I could type the 2 that's in the numerator first, then hit the fraction icon, and then I have to hit the 3 in the denominator. And to me, the easiest way to put a fraction is to use your keyboard. The slash on your keyboard, which is right above the number 8, is the fraction or the division button on your keyboard. So you can just do 2/3. Then you don't have to go up there and click. Okay? I'm going to hit next. Now it's going to have you type in parentheses x plus 4. The parentheses are above the 9 and the 0. You have to use the shift. So I'm going to do shift, and then I'm going to type x in lowercase. I can't use uppercase unless it's supposed to be uppercase. X, the plus sign, you can either use shift with the plus equal sign, or the easier one is just on the number pad, plus 4, and close my parentheses. They're now going to have me add an exponent to that expression. So to do an exponent, you can either hit this one here, the box with the little box above it, or you can use the caret symbol, which is above the 6. So if you hit shift and caret, that will do the exponent, or you can click the box. And then you type in the exponent. In this case, they're going to have you put a 2 in there. Now, what they're going to have you do is they want you to get out of the exponent. If I keep typing, it's staying up there in the exponent. If I want to do the next part of my thing, I either have to click, sometimes the space bar works, but I have to get my cursor down out of that exponent. So they're telling you just to click up here, I'm in the exponent, I got to click down here to get out of the exponent. And now they want you to add plus 7 at the end of that expression. If I want to make that into a fraction, what I have to do is highlight that expression. So I'm going to click and drag over the top and highlight it. It says release the mouse. I did, but it doesn't think I did. Oh, I didn't get the 7. That's why it doesn't like me. I didn't drag far enough. There we go. Now I can either hit the slash or the fraction to do my fraction. And put a 3 on the bottom. Hit next. When you're drawing a line, technically to draw a line you only have to have 2 points. Usually when we're doing lines it'll have you do 3, but technically you only need 2. Normally they'll have you mark with the pencil tool the 2 points, but they're going to have you do the line tool. So the line tool, you'll click where your first point is, click where your second point is, and you have your line. Calculator. The calculator is not always active on Alex. If the calculator is not active, say you're adding 1/3 plus 2/5, they think you are working it out paper, pencil, and then putting your answer in, not just grabbing your calculator and punching it in and putting an answer in. You can do that and you will get it right. However, when we get to the algebra part of it, where we have to add 2a over 3b plus 5/6a over 5/6bx, if you don't know how to make common denominators and all of that stuff, it's going to be really hard to do the algebra. So if the calculator is not active, do the work paper, pencil. If you want to check it with your calculator, more power to you. The calculator button is over here. Most of you will have your own calculator, but again, when it says use the keyboard, you can use the keyboard from the computer, or you can type on the number pad they have there. I'm going to type in 31. It wants me to do adding. Again, I can just use the plus sign on the keyboard, 9, and hit equals. The equals is the enter on your keyboard. And there's my answer. They do have square roots, and they even have permutations and combinations and logarithms and all that fun stuff that we're not going to use. All right, we've completed the tutorial. Now it says we're going to do the knowledge check. Again, we are just going to say I don't know on every single question, because we're going to take the real knowledge check on Wednesday. So start your knowledge check. It's going to tell you that they think you're going to take it, so stay focused, don't get distracted, have paper, pencil, don't get help from others, and take your time and try your best. We'll do that Wednesday. So hit start knowledge check on the bottom. Hit I don't know. It's going to think that maybe you did that by mistake, so hit got it that you know that you hit I don't know. And then just keep hitting I don't know for every single one of them until you get to the end. Eventually you'll get tired of asking you questions. And you should see this. Are we ready? If no, maybe. You guys aren't answering me. I'm talking to myself. Normally when you see this screen, you will see stuff filled in because you'll have known some questions and whatever. But right now it says we don't know anything, which is okay. We're going to hit continue on the bottom. There are two different views on your home page. What you're looking at right now is what you usually see when you first log into Alex. It's called the Alex home page. You can either have the pie chart view, which is what they have when you get done with the assessment. I'm going to hit next. If you click on a slice, I'm going to start right up here on this one. That's the real number slice. Right now it says we didn't know anything because I had to skip all the questions on the pretest. The other view is the timeline view. The timeline view just basically tells you how many topics you have to finish that chapter that we're currently on. So it doesn't matter which view you want to use. It won't let you switch it right now, but we can switch it back in a minute here. If you prefer the pie chart view or the timeline view, I'm going to hit next. Right here on the bottom, it's going to have a thing that says working toward. That's the current chapter we're working on, and it has the due date when that needs to be done by. On August 27th at midnight, that chapter is going to be closed. If you don't have it done, you can't get back into it unless you finish the next chapter early. If you finish the next chapter early, the whole pie chart is open. If you finish early, instead of saying do your path, it's going to say work ahead. So you want to try to make sure you're always done with all of your topics by that due date there. Then it just says it's a quick picture of your week by week milestones, and I'm going to hit got it. Now, I should be now able to go up there and click, depending on if you want to look at the timeline view or the pie chart view. You can switch that whenever you want. I'm going to go ahead and hit start my path. Now, when you start your path, it's giving you a recommendation on the topic that you want to work on, but we're going to change some stuff on there so it comes up in the order that we're going to cover them in class. First thing it's going to do is show you the learning page. I'm going to hit next. After you've read through the learning page and you're ready to do problems, you can hit start. I'm going to hit got it there, but I'm not going to start yet. Up on the top, you will see this arrow, and if you click on that, it drops that down, and it gives you the tabs of things that you can work on. Right now, you will see that we are working on the review chapter. If I click the drop down up there, you can see the other chapters you probably can't get into because they're locked until you get done with the review chapter. If you finish early, every chapter will be open, but make sure you just go to chapter 1 and do chapter 1 if you happen to finish early instead of jumping to chapter 5. So that should be the chapter that we're working on. What we need to do is go to the filter, up on the top on the filters. Right now it is sorted by easiest, but we are going to change that, so we are having it sorted by pie slice so that everything comes up in the same order as we're going to cover them in class, or at least close, because sometimes they like to mess with me. If you get to the point where you're practicing for an assessment, you want to switch it to easiest so you can get stuff done, that's fine. But when you're normally working, you want that by pie slice so everything comes up in order. If I click in the middle of the screen, it's going to close that filter. There's not a close on it, but I want to talk about that filter a little bit, so I'm going to go back to the filter. You will also see there's a view by. Ready to learn is the normal mode where you're learning things. The review is the stuff that either you get right when you take your assessment or after you start working on your pie chart. So sometimes you're working on your pie chart and you get stuck with something, and I might help you with 2 out of the 3 questions, and you really haven't gotten enough practice. That's when you would want to switch it over to the review mode. Right now the review mode has nothing in it because we didn't get anything right on the assessment and we haven't done any practice problems. But otherwise the review topics would be there. Then you could go back to the one you just worked on, and then you can do 100 practice problems if you want to. So your normal filter is on ready to learn. And by pie slice, but if you need to go back and practice something or you need more practice on something, then you're going to switch it over to the review mode. If you happen to be working on a topic and you miss it a number of times, it's going to take it off the pie chart. To get it back on the pie chart, you want to go down to the bottom and click Show All Topics. Then it's going to show the hidden ones that you still have to do. You probably won't remember that, but I'm going to mention that now anyway, because it always happens. You're working on something and you miss it, you miss it, you miss it, and then it takes it off your pie chart, but you really want to go back and work on it, then you got to go show all topics there. If you are working and you get stuck on a topic and there's nobody to help you right away, you can go up to these tabs and just pick the next topic and do the next one. Or some of them are locked, and if they're locked, they'll tell you, oh, you have to do these two first before it'll let you do that one. So normally they'll be in order of how you should cover them. But if in the event you get stuck on something and you want to go to the next topic, you just click on the next tab and go to the next topic. Otherwise, normally what you're going to do is you are going to hit start at the bottom of the page. We are just plotting some integers. Integers, by the way, are positive and negative numbers on our number line. On the top, it says up here, this bar shows you how many correct answers you need in a row. It's lying to you. You really don't have to do 5. If you do 2 right in a row, it gives you a double bonus. So the first one you do right, you get 1 bar. If you do the next one right, it's going to give you 2 more bars, so you're up to 3. If you do the next one right, you get 2 more bars, so you're up to 5. So the minimum number of problems you have to do is 3. Some of them even have less than that, but on this one, that's how that goes. I'm going to hit next. If you need an explanation, you can hit explain. It's not going to count against you, other than you don't get the double bonus. If you do 2 right in a row, you only get 1 right if you do the explain. I'm going to plot some answers here. So I'm going to grab the dot. I'm going to plot -7, -4, and +1. Notice my hand from plotting is still on the screen. If I want to get rid of that, I'm going to go back over to my tools and click in that blank box. Okay, why is that not turning my tool off there? They changed my button. It doesn't go that way. I don't want that hand there. I'm going to hit the erase one. Now the eraser's on there. Well, they changed that. I can't get rid of that extra tool. Oh, it went off now. I should be able to see my answers. I'm going to go down to the bottom, hit check. It tells me I got it correct. I'm going to hit next. Now I'm going to plot the next one, so I'm going to grab my dot again. I'm going to do +6, -4, and -1. If I hit check, now notice that I got 2 right in a row, so up on my bars they gave me that extra bonus. I have 3 of them filled in. Now just for fun, I'm going to get the next one wrong. Hit my dot, put some wrong answers on, hit check. It tells me, oops, you plotted more than 3 points. I was only supposed to do 3. I'm still going to have it wrong. When I hit check, notice now it took 1 of my bars off because I missed that answer. So I'm going to hit the clear, hit the X button, clear it out, and I'm going to put the right answers in. 6, 1, and -12. I'm going to recheck it, and now I only get 1 credit for 1 instead of having that double bonus. And now I'm going to do the last one here. 6, -2, and 9. Check that. And now I got 2 right in a row. It gave me the double bonus. My thing's all filled in. When I hit next, it says, hey, I only have 44 topics to finish the chapter. I had 45 previously. And all you're going to do is hit continue your path, and then you're going to do the next topic. Now they're telling me here's the arrow where you can change the topics that you want to work on, and that you have ready to learn topics first, which we already talked about. And again, you can scroll through there. If you want to jump way to the end of the chapter, it probably won't let you do those. But the important thing is that that filter is by pie slice and you're on ready to learn, so that you get stuff how you're supposed to have that. So that's the main thing on working on there. I'm going to go over here to these things over here on the side. When you're on the explain page, the top one there is the instructor resources. If I click on the instructor resources, there is a little video clip. The video clip is going to be the same 3 practice problems that we're going to go over in class when we go over these problems in class shortly. There is also one that says Linda's Notes. Linda's Notes are a Word document that print out maybe a little nicer, and sometimes I have extra hints or extra words on there. So if you're not getting the problem by looking at their explanation, go to Linda's Notes and print that out and see if it has a little different things. Sometimes I do the problem a different way. Sometimes they have more than one explanation. So those are there. And again, if you happen to go home and say, geez, I totally forgot how to do that, you can always rewatch the video clip of what we did in class. Again, the calculator's not always active. On this one, we don't need the calculator. They also have some of their own videos. They might do it a different way than I do it, so you could watch their video. The ebook is not active because I didn't make you pay the extra $50 to have the ebook, because I'm going to give you enough stuff that you don't need it. The dictionary. If something is in blue, like here, integers is in blue, you can click on it and it opens up the dictionary. Otherwise, you could go to the dictionary and search for stuff. If you go to the dictionary, it pops it up in a little window there. You'll notice it has its own close, but then it tells you what an integer is, The message center, the one that looks like an envelope. This is really nice if you happen to be working at home on the weekend or in the dorm or wherever you may be. If you go to the message center, first of all, it thinks that you want to send a message to me. They think I'm Professor Flannery because I work at a college. I'm really just Linda. But it won't let me change that. Notice down on the bottom, if you scroll down on that page, if I can get the right one, it has already attached the page of that explanation. So that if you're working at home and you can't get the problem, you don't have to try to type the whole thing in. You can just say, hey, I don't get the second part of this problem, or whatever it might be. If I type your response back, when I type your response back, I'm going to type it in Word, and I'm going to attach it down there. I found that if I type in that box, it doesn't print out very nice. So I always just type it up as a Word document. That way, if you want to print it out, it prints out nice. So it'll show up on the bottom under where I have that attached page. So if you do want to type some math symbols, you'll notice if I click on the word algebra, it opens it up and gives you a whole bunch of algebra symbols. You don't have to worry about trig and matrices yet unless you take some higher math. But you can type some stuff in. But easiest just to have that page attached. This goes to my regular email also. So if I'm at home, it goes to my SWC email, which I check more than I would check my Alex email. So I will get it fairly quickly as long as I'm checking my email. If you happen to know you're going to be gone from class, again, you could hop on Alex, just say, hey, I'm going to miss class today, then I know. If you are not reporting into your instructors and telling them that you're going to miss class, they're going to send your name down to Student Services, and Student Services is going to try to call you, get a hold of you on Facebook, whatever it might be to hunt you down. So please treat this like your job. If you're not going to be here, let us know so that they don't have to spend a bunch of time trying to find out where you're at. And of course, if I were going to send the message, I would hit send at the top. I'm not going to. I'm just going to close up the message center. But nice thing on there is it does attach what you're doing so I can see what you're doing. And then the bottom one is the print. The print we print in here, the printer is the 9040. If you happen to have your own laptop, we can hook it up so it prints in here. And sometimes your laptop works better than our stuff. All right, main menu now. Up on the top corner where the 3 bars are, you have your main menu. Again, you have your 2 different modes. The ready to learn mode is just the learn, which you're normally in. Then there's also that review mode. Same thing where we had the filter. So you can switch back and forth there also. If you happen to go to the review mode again, of course it has nothing. Oh, it has plotting integers on the number line. I forgot I did that problem. It has it there, but once you get a bunch of tabs, if you're searching for a certain topic, you can type in the name of the topic, and then once you start typing in the name, it'll eliminate some of those extra tabs so you can find your stuff. But at this point, I only have 1 tab there because I only did 1 topic. Again, I can just switch that back either on the drop down or going to learn there instead of going to review. Assignments. The assignments are going to be the scheduled assessment. So on the back of your syllabus where I had that calendar, tells you when you're going to have an assessment. We're going to actually have an assessment on Wednesday. Do I have that set up yet? Nope, I don't have that set up yet. Worksheets. Worksheets are just extra paper pencil practice problems. It doesn't even let you pick what goes on there. It just generates some random problems. You can do them if you want, but I wouldn't worry about doing the worksheets. The calendar just basically shows when the chapter is going to be due, which you can see on the home page. Gradebook, I don't use the gradebook. How I tell you for grading is look at your pie chart on your report, and if you're at this percent for this week, you're on track for finishing the pie chart. Reports, that's where you have to check. So I'm going to click on the word reports. So up on the main menu, down to the word reports. The first page is just a bunch of the stuff you already had, your pie chart, the current chapter you're on, the timeline view, da-da-da. What you want to do is go to the second page, and the one you're looking at is the progress history. Right now your progress history says nothing because we haven't done anything, and you have to do about 2.5 topics to get 1% added on there. But at the end of the week you want to look there and you want to add those two scores together. For this week we wanted to be, what did I say it was? 15%, 12%, somewhere in there. You want to look at that and say, am I at least this far done? If I am, I'm on track for finishing. If I'm not, I've got extra homework that I need to do. If you want to know how many hours you spent working, on that same box on the bottom, you're going to click View All. That just opens up to a bigger screen. It tells you how much time you've been working. Mine says 34 minutes because I've been talking a lot. So, if you are on Alex and you just leave and don't do anything, it doesn't accumulate time, but as long as you're working on stuff, it adds time, and you want that to average out to about 6 hours a week for an average student, or at least keep up with the percentage. Back to my main menu on the 3 bars. Again, you can go to the message center if you need to send me an email. You can do it from there. Instructor resources. The instructor resources, the very first file says homework videos. The homework videos are the lectures that we're going to do each day. So if you know that you're going to miss class, or you have missed class, you can get out your little calendar that's on your syllabus and it'll say, oh, we did homework 1 and 2 today. You'll go here. It's going to click you out to YouTube, so it says that you're going to go away from Alex and go to a different page. And there I am on YouTube. If you want that expanded out, you can hit the little corner button, etc. Now I have headphones with long cords on in case your tower isn't up on the top. And if you happen to have earbuds, you can use earbuds. You can't hear me now because I have the volume turned off. But there's a little video clip of what the lecture is going to be. It's obviously not the lecture from today, it's from a different semester, but it's all the exact same stuff. So if you miss class, you can always get the lecture and get your homework filled in by going to those homework videos. Again, you go up to the top, you go to instructor resources, and you hit homework videos. They started something new this semester, and this is only for intermediate algebra. You can redeem free 60 minutes of one-on-one sessions with a tutor. Not a tutor from here. I've never even clicked on it to look at it because it's just added on there like a week ago. But if you want some free individual tutoring on Alex, you have 60 minutes free because you're in this class. Textbook isn't going to be active because I didn't make you pay for it, and again the dictionary is there. Normally what you're going to do is just click on home. You're going to be on your home page. You're going to continue your path and you're going to start working on topics. Questions. I know I went through that kind of fast, but I recorded it and I will upload that on Alex in case you need to go back and revisit some of those things I said, but I'll probably take out that big pause when everybody was getting registered.